Alright, homies, what's up everybody? The Khaiza is back! Hey, where am I? What is this place? What time is it? Who are you? Acting like old man every single stream. Oh, my camera! Oh, right, that's right, I closed it off because tutoring sessions and all that. What's up, homies? The Khaiza is back once again. How y'all doing today? Oh my god, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. What's up? Wait. There you go. What's up, everybody? What's up, homies? The Khaiza is back once again. Hey, how y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Missed y'all. I missed y'all. I wanted to like stream today. I missed like Monday. I missed Tuesday. Right? Things especially like the past few days, getting a little bit like hectic, or not hectic, but just more or less complicated, right? Yeah. So we got so. Mom and I have some guests over. I got my aunt and uncle over here. So, yeah. Now I have to be like... I have to be like careful of how much like I speak, right? Because they can like hear me. I would have been better, much more comfortable if it was just Mom and I. But now when guests are like over, have to like close my door, which I haven't done in a long time, ever since like before Grandma's passing, right? Rest in peace, may her soul be Jannah, you know, right? But yeah, guests are over, so now I have to adopt the principle again of closing my door and making sure I talk a little bit like quiet, like a little bit like slowly, you know, things like that. Just to make sure they don't get like alarmed, right, of any like maybe potential scream fests or things like that. Closing the door may like help a bit, but also probably have to like learn how to calm myself down, right? But yeah, pretty big like hectic like past few days. Oh no, sorry, not again. Sorry, it's not hectic, but just super stressful. Yeah, to say the least, right? Albeit, you know, they're not as, you know, my aunt and uncle from my dad's side aren't as bad as, you know, my grandma from my mom's side, right? If that makes any sense. Because grandma was heavily dependent. She had to call on people every now and then. She can't like, you know, go to the bathroom by herself and things like that. But at least like with, you know, my aunt and uncle, they're somewhat capable, right? They can walk on their own. They can go to the bathroom by themselves. Just not like, of course, the feeling is they're not comfortable, right? They're not comfortable, you know. So it's different for person to person. Like, you know, you have like a house and, you know, you live in that house for, you know, for extended periods of time. Like, you know, a house is a house. It's your home. So you feel comfortable at your home. Our house is not comfortable for others, right? It's just for Mom and I, because that's our house, right? That's our home. So it's a little bit weird, or sorry, it's a little bit weird. It's very uncomfortable for my aunt and uncle who are living here just temporarily for a week, because their son is traveling. My cousin, their son, is traveling to places. I think now he's once again at Saudi Arabia. I think the last time I saw him was like at the Jeddah International Airport or something like that, right? But yeah, they'll be staying over for until what, for like 10 days. They came over at like Saturday, so probably will be staying with them for until like Monday. That's when they leave. That's when my cousin will come back. Ow. And like take them back home. Sorry, I stuck my teeth. And yeah, right? So with them here, I have to like consider like streaming schedule and streaming like settings so that it doesn't get loud, and they have like different dinner times, so I have to like, you know, make accommodations for like them. So I tried like, for example, I tried like streaming on like Monday, but then on Monday I was like busy like doing like work, and I actually did like some exercise for the past like few days. Did a little bit like today, but yeah, today was just super fucking tiring. Wednesdays are usually like the longest, but usually I'm like okay with them. But let's say if I have like back to back to back to back students for my tutoring hour, I'm just like, oh god. It just becomes like I am I am just like crawling on the floor, right? I'm technically like putty, right? Do not touch me, do not interact with me. I just want to go home, hug my mom, have like lunch, and then come back home. And after like lunch, I like power down until like or like just relax and chill because, you know, long day. And then I just like what was it? Come back or what was it? After a while, then have dinner, and then I power down and do whatever like stuff I want to do, you know? So man, it's such like a pain, bro. It's such a pain. Wednesdays, I'm usually like okay, are usually like okay. I've done them on like, you know, in the ever since like the spring semester started, and even like during Ramadan, like mashallah, can't believe I like did like streaming during Wednesdays in Ramadan, where I'm like, you know, totally, totally jacked up, or not jacked up, or totally like minus on block, minus on eating, minus on nutrition, everything, you know? Until like sunset. That's where I'm like, I'm super positive, super plus, you know? But for the sake of like, you know, guests, I have to make like accommodations, you know, for them, right? So that means like technically later dinner times, or even like if they like want to or not, you know, things like that. It's yeah. Excuse me, something I have to temporarily get used to. So yeah, they'll be staying here temporarily for like until Monday and stuff. And but yeah, I had like back-to-back students just telling them, you know, how to do this, how to do that. I think like the worst one was like towards like the end, where my glasses always keeps getting foggy. I don't understand. Wait. Excuse me. Sorry. The worst what was it? Student that I have? Well, not like, you know, had any problems with, but maybe like, you know, some things is that is like is one student that came at the very like last hour of, you know, my block. And it was for basic mathematics. Basic mathematics was the course that he's doing. And it's not that he is like a bad like kid, but it's just that he has like so many problems. He has problem paying attention. He has like trouble remembering things. Like he has problems remembering multiplication tables. Seen improvement that he can do like, let's say 5 times 6. But that's pretty much it. He knows some things, but not the very complex stuff, right? And I do show him, but he doesn't retain a lot of like the information. And it's just a frustrating like back and forth, because I try to show him what it is, right? And put down, and but all he is like putting down the answer not figuring out anything like sort of things like clicking in, because as a job as a tutor is like the greatest like thing we have is to make students or our tutees independent, right? So that they don't need us. But this guy comes in every single week, right? He's totally like dependent. And of course he has, you know what's and things like that, right? But I've had other students who have like, you know what's, learn, or sorry, let's just like no filter, right? I mean, it could be okay to say it, learning disabilities, right? Because, with teaching, it's like, or sorry, with school, they're like not just normal kids, but also special needs kids, learning disabilities of of a varying like degree. And this guy, right? He has, so and so learning disabilities, but I've had other learning disability students, right? I had like one like 2 hours ago. And he's in Calc 1, and of course that all depends on like if you like the subject or not, but he's able to pick shit up like within a few minutes, tricks aside, right? Or like some fundamentals aside, but he's able to pick up like calculus like 1, 2, 3. Like, mashallah, so and so, man. You're picking up things a lot more faster than some of like my other students, and he's like actually my favorite, right? To be able to be, learning disability and to be on like that, level of calc with integrals, oh my god, it like, compared to like my other student, he would like cry miserably. Like, bro, you're not like learning over here, I was almost to the point of like almost tricking my students to type in like the wrong answer, right? And to make him realize like, what he did was like wrong. But didn't like learn from it. Maybe that was the wrong approach, but like, oof, God damn it. Just horrible like experience, right? I almost like succumbed to like my vices sort of thing. I didn't like that last part. I liked all of like my other students, but not that one in particular. It's funny, and I'm usually like nice, and I'm usually like chill with like my students, but he just keeps coming back again and again and again and again to different like tutors. So he's like a regular, right? Which is like, okay, a regular's not bad, you might say, on Twitch or YouTube. Hi everybody on YouTube, by the way. How's everybody doing? But hope y'all are doing okay. Today is Wednesday, middle of the week. We're getting there to Friday. We're almost close to Fatal Fury. But the thing is that if you're in like in the education field and you see like a regular coming in for like, let's say like a tutoring session, yeah, sure, like in a way that's a good thing, because you see like same number. It's kind of almost like a restaurant. You see like the same person order the same like meal, revenue goes up. I don't know how it works for like tutoring center, right? Financially wise. But, I think I do, because I remember getting laid off from NJCU as a contract employee tutor over there, but because COVID happened, they didn't like, they cut some staff off. And that's why I'm working at HCCC, because it's a free alternative. And now I'm just like, I've been staying there since like, for the past 2020, for the past like 3-4 years. 3-4 years. Started from the bottom, and now we're at like full streaming tutor schedules for the Khaiza. Yippee! But when you become like a regular for a tutoring center, that's not really a good sign. That just means that like you're not learning anything from us. You either, are learning disability or taking advantage of the tutoring center just to like get answers. He doesn't like say it, but based on the behavior that I've seen him do, is that he's not like learning. He just wants to finish the homework and that's it. That's that. I don't know how well he will do on like exams, but but yeah, that's just like you're coming in again and trying out different tutors just for you to get like answers, and that's not really like good. Like I said, he's not a he's not a bad kid, but he's like a repeat offender, right? Not learning, not like, being independent, not being able to like for things to like, sink in. And I talked with this with mom, is that, oh, basic math, Farhan, it's very like hard, but yeah, this is again, but I tell mommy, yeah, but the name implies it's basic math, right? So you should, outside of like maybe X's and Y's, right? Where they start like touching like variables, because when in basic math for HCCC, that's in this time frame or in this like phase of the semester, then they start touching into like X and Y's, probably maybe the coordinate plane, just for like a little like touch, just to like gauge and like feel, But thing is, for him, I'm not seeing any improvement. He just like fumbles around. He admittedly gives up and says like, I don't know. So that's like a sign that's like he's not trying. He's expecting us to do the work, even though he's not saying it. But even though he's not saying it like out loud, but I can feel like he's like doing it, And unfortunately, as tutors, we just have to like, deal with it, right? We can't like force him to like get out, right? Things like that. I wish I would, right? It'd be a lot easier. It'd be like a burden lifted on my shoulders, or like an ease of like my conscience, right? To tell that student to like, get the fuck out of the tutoring center. But we can't, right? That would be, of course, very rude. It would look bad on the tutoring center that we're not accepting students of all kinds, right? It just creates like a blemish, and tutoring or like colleges don't like it when they have like blemishes here and there, Man. Man. Cold all of a sudden. But yeah, that's like what happened. I had like a full day of back-to-back like students, and then came back home at like 4:45 just to pick up like food for my aunt and uncle. With the help of mom, of course. Or of course, like mom was driving me and I was just accompanying her. So in a way, I was doing shit, right? So, and from the looks like of my phone, I'll be having another book session. Thursdays are also, well, comparatively to Wednesdays, Thursdays are also my busiest days, because I have not only tutoring hours from 10 to 2, but also a Zoom class from 5 to 9:30. It's Zoom, of course, but still, like, the hours are like long. And guess what? I have like, let's say, three students for that are booked with me in specific like time slotted hours for tomorrow. I'm like, stuck for the lot, beautiful. Luckily, it's no one problematic. You know? But yeah, just super tilted. Well, not tilted, super irritated, frustrated, angry at like that last block. And I'm just like, man, I just want to stream. I just want to talk to y'all. I just want to play Fatal Fury, beat Yamazaki'S ass, which we're going to be doing tonight, right? Since we got cut off from Friday. And we're also going to be talking about some stuff. We're going to be talking about not just catching up on some like news from the web and things like that, but also Daredevil season 1, right? Daredevil season 1. It just ended yesterday, and man, was it a fun like ride? You know, it feels like we're back at not prime Netflix era, but like prime Netflix show era, right? Where you had like live action bangers from Netflix. This was like before the rise of Disney Plus, was like their Marvel shits, and their continued like comic book movie smaller hero specific characters. Excuse me. But all I can say is that, yeah, Daredevil season 1 was fun. It just brought me back to like, you know, the first time we saw Daredevil back in, when did Daredevil season 1 Daredevil season 1 and Wall of Vincent D'Onofrio 2015, so it's literally 10 years, right? That makes sense, because hence Daredevil, you know, Born Again, as acquired by Disney, right? Brought back the character via like teases from, well, we'll talk about it in like in the review bit. We'll save that for like the review bit. Right now we just gotta like catch up, check some channel notes, right? Things like that. Right? Check some channel notes or channel points. And then we could talk about Daredevil and beat Yamazaki. Man. Man, my throat. Alright, so we got Mix It Up ready, right? And now we just go to Surfaces, Overlay, and let's see. Oh, man. Oh, that's right. Gotta go to channel points here. It's dull. Oh, no. I gotta like, go to here. Man, my brain tired. Just talking about shit. Three. We count the live counting. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 channel points configured, right? Right? And now we just check them out. It works.
What the hell?
What the hell is this? I maybe need to like work on some channel points, maybe on Twitch and just to like edit them around, you know, so that way we could make better ones in the future, you know. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, so let's catch up on some news. Let's catch up on some news before we head to the Daredevil review and just like talk and discuss, you know? So I think the first thing we should talk about and this is coming from a Marvel vs. Capcom news, is that MVC Fighting Collection got updated. Marvel vs. Capcom actually fucking got an update. This is a title update, which has released right now. You guys can go check it out. But, this was like a wild title announcement because usually like packages of HD repackages of old games don't usually ever get like an update of some kind. Usually like, you know, let's say like Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. That game came out and then nothing happened. No new updates, no new nothing, right? So HD collections or even like Capcom Fighting Collection, they may get like bug fixes, quote unquote, but for the most part, they don't necessarily get like a huge ass like title update, right? For a package, for a HD collection of old games, right? But Marvel vs. Capcom got a fighting collection, arcade classics, right? We thought it was going to be like, you know, that's it. And we actually got a title update. What the hell is this title update, right? Like, the hell? Am I like tripping? Actually fucking crazy that we got a title update for, which is today. Title update. You get to select X-Men vs. Street Fighter, different versions of X-Men vs. SF. MVC2, you can change internal resolution. Yeah. Wow, okay. So the original has like, you know, like these like pixelated, like jagged, like edges, like you can see right here with the clown's like thumb as like, of course, an example that they're like showing off. If you pump the internal resolution up to like, you know, 2, then you could get like smoother edges. Now it actually looks like, you know, a crisp like looking game in MVC2. Some things like the bells and clock tower, things like that, and other stuff. Versus mode, alhamdulillah, you can get versus, right, offline versus with people, right? Offline versus with people, menu button settings, right, things like that. Reset the game directly from the pause menu. Yup. So that's freaking beautiful because, right, the old way, especially for this like collection, is some like workaround process that you have to like do for MVC Fighting Collection, right? So you would have to like use the game's like in-game save feature where you can like save like arcade progress, things like that. So you would have to go to arcade mode, right, by yourself, and you can plug in you can have your friend plug in your second controller, fight stick, whatever, and they could like join in on you. But you would have to do reset the game progress, the game's arcade ladder, so that it could register your friend, and then you would have to save your it would have to like save your last like instance, your last instance of MVC for that second player to like join in. And if you have already chosen your characters, you can choose that save spot. And then if you want to do, let's say, like a first to three with like those set of like characters, you know, without changing or swapping anything, you can do that through save states. But now you could just do directly versus mode because you have to do an unorthodox method. This just makes like versus mode offline a lot more easier to do with old school Marvel vs. Capcom games. That's alhamdulillah, that's fucking beautiful. And we got new artwork and new tracks from Caption. Whoa. These changes are coming to both. Oh, really? Oh, that's sick. So it's not just the fighting collection, but also it's not just the arcade classics, but also Capcom Fighting Collection 1 and Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Oh shit, bro. Oh shit. But yeah, wow. So we're actually getting like an update to MVC 1. I actually want to check out like these like settings real quick before we jump into the Daredevil review, just to like check them out, you know? I'm curious about this like what was it? There was this new artwork by Capcom by Shinkiro. Oh, Shinkiro. Damn, Shinkiro's doing a lot now, man. He's like his prime time stuff was like back in like in the old Capcom SNK days. Now he's like making new art. Like holy shit, bro. I used to be like, you know, meh on his art because it looked like very like weird and like meh. But now I have a good appreciation for them because it's like an archival like history of Capcom like fighting games. You hardly ever see like that like level of skill and detail, right? Especially for like Shinkiro. He did like the fucking Ryu Chun-Li crossover in Fortnite. Right? Alright, hold on a sec, chat. I gotta go use the restroom real quick. Gotta make sure to. Hi, Chad. Gotta make sure to take the smallest of noises. You know, make sure, like, not like the slightest creak. Maybe the slightest creak, but hey. Back to, back to sneezing. Fuck. But yeah. I definitely want to check out this MVC like collection update just to see like, you know, what it is, right? Just for like a quick see, you know, a quick look see, not like a whole lot. But yeah, man, this is crazy that we can get MVC an update to a repackaging of old games, right? And this is like showcase, like if it was like showcase Capcom Fighting Collection 1, it would be like, you know, what the fuck? But they chose to do it on MVC, right? Of course, MVC also has its like weird bugs, you know, with the Sentinel unit damage, like that. That was not in like in the original ports of the game. But it was only something in the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, right? But they chose to do it over here, so it looks like there are like signs. Like you could take this as like, you know, a big like, you know, big like microscope like analyzing thing like, huh. So they're adding new songs. They're adding like updates to even like the old like ports of MVC, and they're adding like new artwork. So it's like there's life in Marvel vs. Capcom, and it could possibly, you know, hint that maybe just maybe a new Marvel vs. Capcom is being teased. Right here and there, little like sprinkles and breadcrumbs. Not even like sprinkles, breadcrumbs. Yeah, breadcrumbs. Little like breadcrumbs here and there for MVC, you know. But that's like big brain theory, unless we like see like an actual trailer. But we talked about this, right? Because, you know, the fact that this exists alone is that, oh, Marvel vs. Capcom is back. So it's not a matter of if anymore. If a new Marvel vs. Capcom exists, it's already like being brainstormed and brought up like at Capcom executive meetings as we speak. It's only a matter of when. When will it like come out? You know? Right? But that's the Capcom Fighting Collection. What else was there? Game Spotlight for Capcom Fighting Collection 2. There was a new Ninja Gaiden trailer. I'm actually excited for like this game, right? 2D Ninja Gaiden, right? Artsy pixel art, which is, you know, very hard, very rare, especially like nowadays, you know. So I definitely want to check this out. And I gotta finish Ninja Gaiden Sigma, man. That shit's been looming in my mind. I need to finish it to play other shit, bro. Fuck. Sneezing all over the place, bro. It's coming in summer 2025. It's unfortunate that it's PlayStation and PS5 and PS4, right? That's a very, very unfortunate part. I just want to like double check if it's like on Steam of some kind. Oh, it is. It's on Steam. Okay. I'll add it to like my wish list. Better playing, you know? Summer 2025. Shit looks mad dope though. Right? Graphics, processor, things like that. It shouldn't take up that much because it's a pixel game. Right? It's the same thing like what was it? The .emu collection. .emu collection is going to be making this game, which I'm really like looking forward to. I gotta wishlist that. I gotta wishlist that when it comes out. Absolum? I don't know what Absolum is. Looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, they also made Metal Slug Tactics. That's right, I forgot. But they also made TMNT, other franchises. Oh, Streets of Rage, Windjammers. They also did some stuff on Garo, Mark of the Wolves, Last Blade, .emu, right? Things like that, you know? So, they're pretty good. .emu is like one of my favorite smaller like devs for making games like these, you know? So yeah, okay, it's there. That's good. Mashallah, that's good. What else was there? I know everybody was screaming about... the Tekken patch notes. There was like an emergency patch notes for the game that came out. Yeah, yeah. After like the huge like fucking, what was it? The wildfire of just hating on Tekken. Now the devs at Tekken 8 have launched an emergency patch to probably fix some of like the outrageous like stuff that happened. I have not touched Tekken since that patch, but what I'm hearing is cries of like, oh my god, this game sucks. Why is everybody doing like full almost TOD combos, things like that? Why give characters more aggressive features than it already has, to the point that it's like overwhelmingly negative for Tekken 7, right? As of like, you know, the past months since Anna came out in Tekken 8. Even got like Knee calling Tekken 8 the balance update selfish, laying out a list of like 9 issues. I gotta check that shit out. But the patch notes are right here. Let's see, universal changes. Oh my god, so much text. I don't know if I want to read all this. What's like the Spark Notes version? Is there like a Spark Notes version of all of this shit? We sincerely apologize that the actual balance changes did not align with the development intentions and policy previously communicated to the players. We deeply regret not being able to address the improvement and adjustments that the community had hoped. Increase the maximum health. In a way that helps, but not really. This adjustment is intended to ease situations where matches are too easily decided by one-sided momentum. I mean, granted, increasing health is not gonna matter jack shit, because all you need is like mitigate like damage, and then you should be good. That's pretty much like favored upon. Gradual adjustments to overly high reward moves. Attack rate by quickly. Rebalancing of offensive and defensive aspects of heat to suppress damage inflation. Frame advantage on hit for heat engagers. Reduce additional chip damage during heat. Excuse me. change the system so that moves which already deal chip damage do now receive extra chip damage and heat. Oh, wow. Man. In the next update, planned for mid-May, reducing air combo damage. Air combo damage is already, like, sucks as it is, so you're gonna make it even worse now? Okay. Form is of heat burst. Moves that constantly create advantageous situations leading to one-sided matches. I mean, it's already there. Health gauge, health 20. Throw, specific change. Considering that throw breaking is a high-level technique. Throw breaking is not a high-level technique unless command grabs, maybe. But if it's like a king, a regular grab, you can tech that. But if it's like a king grab, good luck. It was deemed excessive, so changing stuff on grab. 17 frames to 9 frames on heat engagers. What do they do to heat dash? Recoverable damage? Nothing. Not really. Reduced chip damage. You still have like chip damage, but it doesn't really like, you know, make it as egregious as it was with the crazy patch, as I would like to call it. Moves that induce wall stagger, break. That's about it. Then we have Anna, Asuka, Cloud. What do you do to my boy Clive? Long reach? Oh, ad break. Hold on a sec, homies. There's an ad break here. But what it seems like is it's not really like mitigating the howls and cries or like making the fans happy of Tekken 8. Rather, it's just like, okay, we know that these are like changes. We're still gonna like keep them as is. We're sorry in a way. Here's this update to make it a little bit better, you know? Stuff on Jin. Stuff on June. Stuff on King. Kuma. Panda. Lars. Lars damage is now less. I've been seeing a lot of people play like Lars. I saw like Arslan play Lars. Wall stagger will no longer be triggered on block. Limited entry. 26 to 4 frames, so now it's going to be technically punishable. Heat timer. Fix an issue. Okay. Law, Lars, Lee. Okay, well, it would have to take some time, like, just to, like, decode it. And I've been away from, like, Tekken, so I have no idea, right, what these changes actually, like, mean. I'll have to look at a comprehensive video about that shit. What else? Oh, there was a Capcom Fighting Collection thing. Oh, yeah, we just talked about this. No, we didn't, like, discuss it. It was just, like, a GameSpot trailer. But... oh, dude. Capcom Fighting Collection coming out May 16th. We get to see an exclusive comic book. Physical pre-order available now. Yeah? That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. You get like a pre-order, right? If you pre-order the physical edition, you get like this small, cute little baby comic book that's like showcases like just the love and the attention given to MVC or Capcom Versus series, things like that. Title updates. Character usage in Fatal Fury. Okay. Oh, this shit. So, you know how people were, like, complaining about Fatal Fury with their guest characters like Ronaldo and shit like that? Dude, look at this shit, bro. Yo. God damn it, get this shit out of here.
Now.
So, this was a video, like, a Fatal Fury commercial, and they've been doing excessive Fatal Fury commercials, right? From Ronaldo to the... Before this video, the recent one with, what was it? It was a boxing promotional match between KSI and some other boxer, and it had, like, I Show Speed digitally recreated in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves art style. Nobody liked that. It was kind of funny, but after, like, you know, the begrudged, like, you know, cries of the SNK community, like, who the fuck is Ganachi? And people looking up, like, why should we have Ganachi and Ronaldo? They're terrible people, right? No one's gonna buy Fatal Fury. I'm not gonna buy Fatal Fury. I'm gonna return my copy. Lo and behold, Fatal Fury commissioned Mega 64. The guys who did popular shit like... what was it? They do incredible, funny as fuck live action skits, which one of them is like this series, Dragon Ball. They did Dragon Ball Z, right? A whole like anthology in 5 minutes. Majin Buu Saga. They're roughly around like Dragon Ball Z in 5 minutes. There's like a whole like 34-minute compilation. You know? So, these guys are pretty fucking funny. They also did some stuff with, like, Resident Evil, right? They're incredibly hilarious because they just do low-effort, like, visuals, but still, like, slap with their fans, you know? And they did one for Fatal Fury. Let's fucking check it out, bro.
Fatal Fury.
Whoa!
Hey! Come on!
Come on!
Cannot escape from death.
Round one.
Whoa! Geese falls at the... You're like a sidewalk. This is funny as fuck. Geese crawling on the floor. Ah, shit!
Terry?
Is that Terry? No, I said, are you okay? He's just this fat son of a bitch just crawling in a crowd of people.
Terry Bogard.
Are you Tory Bogard?
The last thing I ever did. I'll find my
Yeah,
way
fuck this guy.
Give him the rematch of a lifetime. I'll stain my
Hands, your blood.
Power! Wave!
Power wave! Roar! Falls on the trash.
Is the tower back this way? Do you know?
Not sure.
No. I'll defeat Terry myself.
I defeat Terry myself. This fat son of a bitch climbing back to the tower.
Cannot defeat.
No, 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 no. Ow.
Ow, ow, owie.
Owie.
Hello.
They do shit like this all the time. It's so funny. I guarantee you this is not easy, alright? They just make it look easy. You know, main protagonist powers, shit like that. I guarantee you this is not easy. I fought that son of a bitch and he fucking cheats. I fought him in Fatal Fury 1, I fought him in Fatal Fury 3. This son of a bitch is a fucking cheater with counters and shit. It's not easy just to punch the shit out of this guy. But works here. And Geese dies in the fucking subtitles. Terry looking out. The prologue of a newborn legend. The nightmare never ends. This was by far like the greatest commercial that they have did, and they did promotionals. And at the end of their video, promotional commercial for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. This is by far the greatest commercial like I've ever like seen though, right? Out of like so much like shit that came out of like Fatal Fury with like their guest characters, people were pissed off about their characters. Nobody liked Fatal Fury at that like point, at that juncture, you know, right? But lo and behold, we get like this like savior called Mega 64 that who have not been around. Mega 64 does incredible skits where they do like low effort, low budget, like cosplays of shows and video games. I know they did like a Resident Evil one. That one is also hilarious, where like the fucking merchant is like buying some stuff or like pestering some people. Welcome, like, and they do it in like crowds of like, you know, bystanders. They're like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Who's this fat like what? Who's this fat shut up bitch? Right? That's like crawling on the floor. Has this like ugly ass like karate gi, just crawling around on the floor. Even the old elderly is like, oh my god. It's like crawling through the stairs. It's like, are you okay? Is that Terry? No, I said, are you okay? Hey, Terry, is that you? No. These guys are hella funny. These guys are hella funny. And the fact that SNK Fatal Fury commissioned them to make this commercial, right? To me, in a way, it kind of like offsets all of the drama that many people have like had. I mean, it's still there, right? There's still like the Ronaldo blemish and the Ganachi blemish, right? But seeing something like this warms like the hearts of like, you know, fans, you know, of just like internet culture and also like in SNK. We needed a good laugh from Fatal Fury. We need to get like people on our side, you know, actually respects the lore. Terry and Rock are not punching dummies to celebrity real lifers, right? It actually respects, you know, Fatal Fury lore. Right? But this commercial was fucking brilliant. Like chef's kiss shit. This one was really fucking good. And it actually kept like, you know, the subtitles. April 24th, 1925. Geese Howard dies alone on the pavement after falling 48 times from a high rise. And it, like I said, respects like the lore. How many times this bitch has fallen off of like a fucking tower and it screams, ha 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 ha, you will never stop me, I am eternal. Like, this bitch is forever. This bitch is forever like, he's literally like a zombie. He always comes back up. There's always some secret that he's hiding, like some jujitsu ninja scrolls or some shit. Or like he comes back as a zombie. You know? It respects the lore. And Terry looking out the prologue of a newborn legend. Looking over, I think this is Cali. I think this is Cali. And yeah, Geese smirking his ass off. He always comes back. The nightmare never ends. And look at that, just faded transition, evil googly eyes. Right? So funny. That's exactly what we needed for Fatal Fury. Oh, they're playing Devil May Cry 5? I would love to see them do a skit on that, bro. I would love to see them do that. What other fighting game news are there? Scrolling through event hubs. Oh, there was also this commercial. We're not going to talk about this one. Right? Street Fighter. Hockey cosplay. Right? Yeah. I don't know what else we can, like, grab. Excuse me. Anything crazy, anything new? Oh no, I don't think so. Other than patch notes or things. Oh, maybe just like a little bit we can talk about Gojuger stuff, right? We can talk about what's been going on with Gojuger as of recently. Yeah, the latest episode of Gojuger was pretty like awesome because we got the debut of the Evil Ranger, and yeah, this shit looks fucking sick, right? Let me just like bring up like what was it, my Twitter. I did make like these long ass impressions about this. I'll have to like scroll all the way back. I have to scroll all the way back to here. Yeah, this was like after what happened with Gojuger. Yeah, Mighty Morphin got fucking shot. And then we got introductions of, what was it? The Evil Ranger of the season, who's named Ring Hunter Garyudo. He's been hired by the big boss to hunt and target the Gojugers, especially the Red Ranger, Tono Hoeru, who the Ring Hunter is actually Hoeru's brother. Or elder brother. Right? He runs an AI company. He starts off very, nice and, sincere, but he's actually a manipulative son of a bitch. Right? Manipulates Hoeru to, side with him. Until... not until. And he succeeds. Like, he's just like a lone wolf. That he doesn't have any desires, he doesn't have any wishes, things like that. And then we got his transformation sequence, which you guys again will have to like squint, but I will edit it as like a YouTube short or a TikTok, sometime like, or maybe like a YouTube short.
English.
And for like the full screen, I think the full screen will be okay because it's like 24 seconds. It's not gonna hurt that much on the YouTube, I think.
English.
Right? Alright. Damn, bro. Okay. Plays like piano songs. Like his transformation is like the same Tega sword, but it's a gun noise. So that's Ring Hunter God Yudo, right? I definitely like dig it a little bit more because of like, you know, the eye and shit like that, right? But we got our actual evil hunter, Engage God Yudo. And then next week we're gonna get like Red's like exclusive power-up or exclusive like weapon. That's gonna be sick. Man. Alright. As for Kamen Rider Gav, I don't think anything too crazy, right? Other than just like maybe like plot stuff with like Jeep coming back, marrying like one of the high elite Granute families, you know, things like that. But nothing too crazy. Next week we're gonna have like a funny episode, right, with Hanto and Lakia. So that's gonna be good. Oh, man. Oh, there's a new character breakdown. Oh, SNK's been doing character breakdowns for their for City of the Wolves. I think just this morning I saw the Kevin Ryan video. Oh man. Ow. Oh jeez, I'm lost. Gotta do streaming, man. Ow. Sprained my neck. Man. I am so fucking knocked out. Oh shit, son. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Sorry, chat. Oh man, I'm like super fucked up. Super fucked up. Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know. When I went outside, I was like super okay, but now I'm back home. I'm like, oh god damn it. Oh god damn it, man. I feel so fucking looking fucked up. I feel so fucking locked up. And now my glasses are all foggy. Alright. We'll try to maintain our composure as we do this Daredevil review. Let me just like get like a good picture for us. Let's go jump straight in. I don't think we I think we've covered everything, you know? Max this. And now we have to go to YouTube and now we have to go to like YouTube and type in what's a good one to play. I guess like maybe the Marvel versus Capcom 3 what was it? Ah, online theme. There you go. So now I'm gonna have to like hit record on here and let us. Ow. And let us play, right? Okay. Oh, and we have to lower the volume a little bit. Yeah, to make it a little bit, that way my voice can be heard. Right, things like that. Okay, good. Alright, what's up, homies? Welcome back to another review from the Khaiza, and this time, let's just drop it like it's hot, right? We're gonna be reviewing Daredevil. We're gonna be reviewing the blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen that does, you know, kung fu, jujitsu, all that shit, right? Oh my god, wow. When I heard, well, this goes like way back, right? Daredevil, I remember like the first movie way back when with like Ben Affleck as the titular character, and I think that movie came out in like 2005-ish, 2003. It was not bad, right? It was not bad. This was like early like Marvel, and early Marvel was super like into the X-Men, into Spider-Man, and they were also experimenting with other movies like Blade and Daredevil, right? And Daredevil's especially like one of them. I think like that Daredevil movie was, I think I still have the movie here, right? I don't know like where it's at. I don't know where it's at in my my shelf. If I look through like my eyes a bit, right here. I still have the DVD. Damn, this shit fucking dusty. Yeah. I still have the Daredevil 2000, I think this is 2005, right? Case. I still have the case, right? Ben Affleck as Matt Murdock, Jennifer Gardner as Elektra. Then we have like in the back right here where it's like Colin Farrell as Bullseye, and the late Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin right here, right? So this movie was like the first like live action Daredevil. It was PG-13, and after that, I don't know how well it did on the box office. I'm sure it did good. I don't like, you know, the suit itself, right? But I definitely like dug what Daredevil like was, and I kind of like became a fan ever since. And this was like before the MCU-ness of Marvel. After the MCU, I think it was like after Iron Man and the commercial success that it brought, and of course, the first Avengers movie, it was fucking star-studded cast, right? It was the first comic book movie to actually, you know, make bucks, you know, outside of maybe critically acclaimed ones that have been in like in Oscars or Academy Awards, like let's say The Dark Knight, right? Dark Knight was there. That came out in like 2007, 2008, so that was before Avengers, right? But yeah, like after Age of Ultron, then came like the Netflix wave of Marvel characters, or as they would call it, street level heroes, right? And the first one among them was Daredevil, which came out in 2015. Matt Murdock, again, blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen, fights as a vigilante and against like the forces of corruption and evil on New York City, and ultimately fights villains like Kingpin, Elektra, Bullseye, right? Daredevil Daredevil had 3 seasons, and Daredevil was kind of like their Iron Man, right? Daredevil sparked other series to get greenlit and have their own TV series. After Daredevil season, I think 1 or 2, no, I think it was after season 2, was Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, then Iron Fist, and then they all come together, and that was their TV show version of Avengers, the Defenders. And then after that, we got Jessica Jones season 2, and then Luke Cage season 2. Yeah, Daredevil. Jessica Jones is like the only one that got like season 3. Yeah, other than Daredevil. Yeah, season 3. And then we had Luke Cage season 2, Iron Fist season 2, and then we had like the Punisher, and Punisher got like 2 seasons. Punisher got like introduced in season 2 of Daredevil, right? So yeah, this was like Netflix's version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe until they like delisted all of those like shows. Bummer to like all those actors, but once like Marvel we reacquired like those rights and gave them in like hints in other movies and TV shows. The most infamous one of Daredevil's like return and inclusion into the MCU was Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Where Peter was dealing with like everyone knows that Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is Peter Parker, just this like high school kid. You know? So yeah, like that was the first instance where like, oh, Daredevil is, you know, back and he's being included into the MCU. And then we got another instance of Daredevil in the She-Hulk TV series, right? I like reviewed that show so many years ago, right? It was all right. It was, I don't know if I were to call it like pandering, but it just like didn't amount to anything, you know? Like I heard something. It didn't like amount to anything, you know? All it had was like, you know, cameos from Benedict Wong, you know, Mark Ruffalo, Hulk. We even got like Abomination in there, but I knew She-Hulk was like a break the fourth wall character like Deadpool, but ain't no way she beating like Deadpool though. Deadpool is like, you know, mastercraft of that shit, right? Not saying that she did like, you know, she didn't do a good job, but it was so like tacky, it was so like forced. It like Daredevil was in it and she made like fun of Daredevil, being like, you know, the joke that like he sleeps around with like a lot of like girls, you know. Same with like Peter Parker in that aspect, but so is like She-Hulk, so they played like, you know, the reverse, right? You know, She-Hulk in canon sleeps around with a lot of like guys, you know. But I get like what they're doing, you know, that's, you know, that's cute. Like they played like the reverse card with like Daredevil, but that was like the second instance that we saw Daredevil in the MCU, you know. And then we got word that Daredevil is going to get, you know, his returnal as a TV series, and it was going to be called Daredevil Born Again. And you know, Disney Plus TV shows outside of I think like WandaVision, or What If, were like always listed as 6 episodes or even like 7. They're very like short, and it's very like, you know, wrong, because some shows definitely should get their money's worth with 9 to even like 10 episodes. Moon Knight especially. I'm still looking at you, Marvel, for Moon Knight season 2, man. What the fuck? I'm still waiting on that shit, you know. there's also that, and the fact that like oh, and the fact that like Marvel like shows have been kind of like, you know, missed for the most part. You know, nobody likes Secret Invasion. A few people liked the What If scenarios. I just didn't like it because of their animation style. But yeah, the other shows that Marvel has put out, they can be like hit or miss, especially like, you know, after like, you know, Infinity War, after Thanos, right? It's like the constant like what was it, the Marvel like psychological cycle, as I would like to call it. A movie comes out, it will be a hit. A TV show comes out, it will be a miss. Or like, you know, it doesn't have to be either or, right? Like I think we had Ant-Man was like a what was it, damn, I forgot like the sequential like list. Let me look it up, right? Let me look up this shit. Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me just go. The Multiverse Saga Phase 4. No orange. What about the highlight? Just throwing out and asking, right? Yeah, okay, sure. Close the door, Mom. Oh, thank God, Mom brought me tea. Oh my God. Alright, we can work a little bit better now. Alright, so what were like the films, right? What were like some like hits or what were like some hits or misses, you know? Oh, for films, Black Widow, meh. Shang-Chi, great. Eternals, meh. Spider-Man, No Way Home, yay. Doctor Strange, in the middle. Thor, Love and Thunder, meh. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, very good. Right? Sad, but very good. To a T. And then for TV shows, WandaVision, very good. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, also good. Loki, also really good. What If in between. Hawkeye in between. Moon Knight, very good. Miss Marvel, eh. And She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, meh. Right? That was like Phase 4. And Phase 5 was all of their movies, and they had like very little, right? Which were very few in film, but but let's see Phase 5 films. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, meh. Guardians of the Galaxy, good. The Marvels, meh. Like down. Deadpool and Wolverine, abso-fucking-lutely. Captain America, I have not seen it, but from what I've heard, it's like, it's alright. I don't know what's going to happen with like Thunderbolts. I'm probably going to give it a meh as well, because it's like, yeah, their version of Suicide Squad. I don't think it will be like hitting unless you're like a super big like Marvel nut, right? And TV shows, oh man, they had plenty. Loki, season 2, awesome. Oh, sorry. Secret Invasion, meh. Loki, season 2, amazing. What If, season 2 and 3? Oh, wow. I didn't know they did like 3. It's a meh as well. Echo, I didn't know she was part of like Hawkeye, but I also give her a meh. Agatha, all along, I haven't seen, but I heard like some stuff was like tied to like Scarlet Witch. It was alright. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is the animated one, that looks a little bit better than What If. And then we have Daredevil, right? Born Again, season 1. And next we have Ironheart. So that's like all of their TV shows, right? And then we'll get to like seasons. Phase 6. Phase 6, which is going to have like 4 films in Phase 6, spanning from 2025 to 2027. Two of them being the big like Avengers movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, and a Spider-Man movie called Brand New Day. And of course, the Fantastic Four movie, right? The First Steps, which will come out July 25th. I'm gonna be seeing that with Mom. I don't know about day one, but maybe like a week later or something like that. Probably we'll do it on like a Tuesday for Discount Tuesdays. But yeah, a lot of like the Marvel shows as of like up to date with Daredevil have been kind of like hit or miss, and it's always been like that, you know, back and forth cycle between Marvel is back, Marvel is dead. Like, you know, it's definitely one of those things where like, yeah, especially in this TV show, I think like in terms of TV shows, this is like definitely like a banger, because it brought back, you know, it is a continuation of Daredevil season 3, after season 3 from the Netflix era. So you get to see like all your characters like Matt, Foggy, Karen, and then you get to see villains with Vanessa Fisk and Wilson Fisk, right? And all these like other characters that are like in play, and some of them like even like new gen, right? That are like callbacks from the OG Netflix series, you know, right? So, and more specifically with like Daredevil, we heard rumors that it's going to be a 2-season series. Or, sorry, originally it was going to be 18 episodes, right? 18 episodes of Deadpool? That's insane! That's fucking insane! Until we later saw more development for Daredevil Season 2, that it was going to be grouped into 2 seasons. Season 1 being 9 episodes, and then the next season will be like another like 9 episodes as well. So we unfortunately have to wait for another season, and that second season will come out next year, which I've heard they're going to be doing it like around, you know, an earlier time frame than, you know, this one, which is going to be early to mid 2026, you know. So unfortunately, 9 episodes. I mean, this is all that like we're getting. This is like, you know, literally like the monkey's paw sort of thing. Yeah, Daredevil is back, but hold on, you greedy kids. Let's just start with season 1, get you primed up, and start you off with 9 episodes just to get you with the feel of Daredevil, right? I wish it was 18 episodes straight through, right? Well, we'll explain like why as we discuss like, you know, the story, the plot, right? And we'll try to be like comprehensive, because I'm like trying to like, you know, keep an eye on the timer and try to make it, you know, less than like half an hour, less than a half hour, right? So here goes. So not immediately picks up. We see our beloved cast and crew, the Nelson Murdoch Page attorney firm, hanging out at like Josie's, until suddenly Bullseye from season 3 starts shooting up at Josie's, right? We don't know why he's doing it, but he shot down Foggy, right? Daredevil fights Bullseye, but Foggy is dead. And because of the tragedy that happened, is like, yeah, Foggy dead, Matt and Karen are not speaking to each other. Matt throws Bullseye off of like a rooftop. He survives, but then gets sentenced in jail for like life. And this all happened in like a year ago, in the movies time frame. After a year, things have like changed. Matt is like in a new law firm now, with another like lawyer doing good lawyering, things like that, and has abandoned the Daredevil mantle because he killed somebody technically. So he's done with Daredevil shit for good until some episodes. And then we hear Wilson Fisk coming back and Wilson Fisk has like been around as well, right? Wilson Fisk has been in Hawkeye as providing for Bishop's like mom and you know, having a nurturing quote unquote support for Maya or Echo, right? Echo being like her own show and shit like that. And Wilson Fisk got shot in the fucking eye, right? And then he magically grew that eye back via technology or some shit like that. And he announces that he's going to be running for mayor. Mayor Fisk, or Mayor Wilson Fisk, or Mayor Kingpin. He succeeds. And this is when, you know, things start to turn very escalated really fast, right? The first instance, after like episode 1, then with episode 2, which is like the Hector Ayala case, right? Which is like Hector Ayala, or, you know, for, you know, very like keen like Marvel fans, White Tiger. White Tiger tried to stop a scuffle of corrupt cops, pushed one cop over over a train, dies, and then becomes a whole court case about it. Eventually, you know, with the power of Matt Murdock, right? Blind vigilante lawyer, the case succeeds, but that didn't sit well with the corrupt cops, and one of them shoots Hector Ayala. And Daredevil is astoundingly upset that, like, yo, I did all this work for nothing? The system is still like corrupt, right? So slowly we see like Daredevil slowly accumulating himself back into the Daredevil persona. And likewise, Wilson Fisk, although becoming like mayor, the Kingpin is not going to stop being Kingpin. He's still going to make like some shady dealings and illicit, illegal behavior on the side, right? And eventually we'll see the Kingpin's like more truer nature under the facade that like, oh, he's the mayor of Fisk. No one can like stop him, right? So, of course, the Hector Ayala case upsetting like Hector Ayala's family, her niece, I forgot what was her name, Amala, right? I think it was like Amala. Let me see, right? Angela Ayala. Yeah, Angela Ayala. Angela Del Toro. Oh, that's her name. That's right. Okay, Angela Ayala. Angela Ayala, being like the niche says like the cops are bullshit, starts to do like, you know, some vigilante stuff on her own, even though Mayor Fisk has made a strong adamant case on vigilantes himself, shutting down any actions whatsoever. Then we get introduced to like another villain that, yeah, just like is there just for like there, but just for character motivation for Matt and maybe like Fisk. That there's Muse. Muse is like this like very fucked up like serial killer that like abducts people and like draws paintings using like their blood, and he's like a profound artist, and even like attacks like Daredevil's newest like love interest, quote unquote, Heather, who's like a psychologist. And you know, with love relationships with like Matt, unless he like tells them the truth, the secret identity thing is a secret identity, babe. Don't talk shit about it, all right? And of course, Matt is very secretive. You know, he doesn't want other people getting hurt because of his vigilante like ways. He can't help himself. It's like a drug. You know, he wants to do good, but not in a way that he prefers, but in a way that has to, right? So Muse is later dead, shot by one of like the corrupt cops, right? That were a part of Hector Ayala's like death. We also get to see, you know, tie-ins with Punisher. Punisher comes back. Oh my fucking god! Wow, Punisher comes back. It feels like, yo, when this man came on screen, oh my Allah, wow, it brought me memories back to like, you know, season 2 of Daredevil. This shit was like something I love, which is like, you know, the contrast dichotomy between, you know, Daredevil being like, oh, even if they're bad guys, we should like spare their lives because we're better than them. And Punisher's like, nah, fuck that. They're murderous assholes. They kill children, for God's sake. Let's go kill these sons of bitches, right? And in the age that we're at, where everything is like, oh wow, Daredevil being very topical, like on the nose. You know, you have like Task Force, a guy who's very shady, you know, a criminal running for like mayor, right? Very on the nose there. I see you, Marvel. I see you, Marvel. But Punisher comes in and Matt tries to give Punisher like a lead or like a heads up of like what the hell's going on. These Punisher fanboys that are a part of the corrupt police force cult. But at this point they would call them like a cult. You know, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. But and then afterwards we get like some Daredevil like shows, like meeting up with Kamala Khan's like dad, right? And then we get like Daredevil putting on the mantle to take down like Muse, and yeah, Daredevil is like back. You know, he saw that like no matter how much we put these guys like in, you know, due process like law, some shit like that, you know, we're not making lives like any better. Matt like realizes that, which is like, wow, very like spot on, bro. Like, you know, like this is what happens when you try to like do things like, you know, the quote unquote right way, but you just gotta like do your own way, your own branding of like justice, you know? And so towards like the very end, we see like Bullseye coming back. We see Vanessa Fisk, the wife, right, actually played a role in Foggy's death, making all these illegal deals, right, while her husband was away. We see Heather like being doubtful of Matt, obviously, and we also see what was it? Matt take a shot to save like Fisk that was supposedly from Bullseye for death. And then in the last episode, there's like this big like action scene between Bullseye was arrested again after being let out by jail by, you know, connections, right? And Matt and Frank take down the corrupt cops here and there. Karen comes back to help out, right? And she's a permanent resident now. Now that, like, after the shit that Heather's been dealing with, she decides to side with, like, Fisk, you know? Which is okay. And Daredevil saying we need, like, an army. Frank Castle gets captured by the Punisher goon squad, you know? the series ends with Mayor Fisk putting down martial law on New York City against like vigilantes and and we get a post-credit scene of the Punisher breaking out of jail, and he's gonna be back running amok, killing deserving assholes left and right, you know. So that was like Daredevil season 2. I try to like condense it down as much as we can and like do like a Spark Notes version for anybody. You guys can go check out like the full show on Disney Plus. It's all available if you have Disney Plus, right? Now, some like thoughts, some like reviews, some critique, right? The big like critique I would say is that, I said it before, is that yeah, this was like a one season like type of thing. It's only like 9 episodes, you know, so it wasn't really, you know, that crazy because we were promised 18 episodes from like, you know, development hearings, right? Just like coverage hearings on social media here and there of like announcements of Daredevil with like cast and crew coming back, right? Things like that. We were promised 18 episodes, but we only got like the first half of the Daredevil like series, right? Which is their season 2 is going to be at early to mid 2026 as from what I've heard. And yeah, that's like one critique because man, this show is so fucking good. From like characters, from like dialogue, right? From, albeit, you know, the colors were a little bit like off. I was a little bit like thrown off with like, maybe I saw it from like, you know, my TV, or maybe it wouldn't affect like maybe other TVs that I have in like in my house, like my living room TV, which my dad bought a long time ago, or maybe in like my parents' bedroom. They have a TV there. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't affect, right, the viewing, it wouldn't alter the viewing experience because it just looks like Daredevil is not like really vibrant. Like it has like this this fog filter to make like, you know, some of like those like colors of the show very like muted and like dark. Just like, ugh, what the fuck? But then that's only like in some scenes. Other scenes are like, you know, very vibrant, very colorful. Like when you go to like a graveyard, for instance, or, you know, some of the penultimate scenes with like, you know, colors highlighting Bullseye and reds highlighting Matt Murdock, right? That shit was like beautiful, you know? To highlight, you know, the contrasts of, you know, characters, or to like highlight those like characters, you know? Punisher being like, you know, all black, and then you see like the soul, like, you know, skull symbol like on his chest. Very good and effective use of like, you know, color in specific like scenes, right? Dialogue is also really good, right? Especially like Punisher and Murdock, or Murdock and Fisk, right? Daredevil's internal monologues with like the justice system itself, talking to like clients, right? Like, I mean, dude, this is like the perfect like Daredevil, right? Charlie Cox, even though he's like a foreign actor, when he hears like his real voice, he's like, you know, the Henry Cavill like sort of situation, or Idris Elba, you know? Like these characters, right, don't sound Americanized. It's just like localization tricks to make them sound like, you know, American or other like country of accent, you know? You know, Henry Cavill and Charlie Cox sound like, you know, British, right? So, but still though, Charlie Cox looks like, you know, he is the perfect Daredevil, you know? just like mannerisms, just like, you know, the way he, like, you know, speaks and like talks. Like, damn, bro. Even when he's not like calm or composed, he's like, dude, shouting at like Punisher. He gave life while grieving for, like, you know, Foggy, that his best friend like died, you know, things like that, that his world has fallen apart, sort of shit. You know, so god damn, man, this shit was like powerful. And in other scenes, like, you know, as well, was like what was it, Heather grilling like Matt, or like the stuff that was going on with Daredevil and Angela Del Toro, the little white tiger. She will soon be like White Tiger, you know, things like that. And also, yeah, it's just very like topical, like on the nose of, like, you know, current situation of like what's going on. Not gonna say specifically, but you guys can put like 2 to 2 together, that, like, you know what is like doing, you know what, you know. I'm not gonna say, right? I'm not gonna say. But yeah, like, Daredevil was a really good show, like, through and through, right? I just love, like, you know, it just brought me back to like old school era, like I think like 2010s Netflix shows that were slowly like becoming a thing in the market, slowly like becoming mainstream, that like, yeah, Daredevil or like Netflix can put out like some really like good shit, you know, especially when it's tied to, like, you know, maybe like the Marvel logo, or maybe even like a powerful, like, you know, IP. Damn, this shit good. But it's all like a gamble though, right? Daredevil is definitely like one of those like gambles. Of course, there were, like, you know, some worse ones with the Marvel cross Netflix crossover series. Iron Fist is definitely one of them. I remember, like, you know, yo, I was so excited for I was so excited for Iron Fist. Holy shit. I remember liking Iron Fist in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That was like my sole reason for liking Iron Fist. But then the show came out and it was just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Now you have introductions like the hand and shit, and then you have, like, you know, Danny Rand being portrayed in the show with the given script. It's like, yo, what the fuck are these guys like saying? Yo, who the hell is this? Like, what was it, Mika or Mitchell or whatever. Then there's, like, you know, Danny Rand's like adoptive family, and then there's like love interest, and then there's, like, you know, this like little Indian guy that trained with him with the Iron Fist and becomes like a villain or something, you know, like, it's just all over the place. And then everybody has, like, you know, chi powers. Now there's like chi like guns. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? What the sweet merciful crap is going on? I didn't like Iron Fist. I know there's some people that do like Iron Fist, but you can't tell me that, like, some of the choices that they made, or like the pacing, the narrative is like, you know, that's all good. They got like cool fights. That's all we're gonna give it. We only see like a few like instances of the Iron Fist, but it's the Netflixification, right? You're not gonna see like crazy like superpower big budget stuff like all the time in these Netflix shows, you know? You're only gonna see like that, but in the smallest of instances, right? That's what I don't like about, like, you know, the Netflixification of like shows, you know? Like, another instance, like Avatar, right? Even though Avatar did pretty good, but it's like they're trying to adapt like a kids show, right? Kids to teenagers show into a live action series with serious dialogue and characters kind of like maybe swearing and cussing. It's not gonna like work that well for like Avatar. You can try, but it's not gonna land, you know? Avatar live action did their best effort to explore like character dynamics, which is a good thing. That's like a good quality of Netflixification. The serious, like, you know, dialogue. But then there are like some choices like where they like adapt to like, you know, try to like, you know, fit that branding model. It's like, yeah, I remember hearings of like, let's say like Avatar, since like the new season is going to be coming soon with casting like Toph, for instance, has been confirmed. That Toph is going to be, from what I've heard, is that she's going to be more feminine and more brass and abrasive, which kind of like drew Avatar fans, you know, off, because that's the whole character of Toph, right? She's supposed to be a tomboy. She's supposed to be, you know, this rough girl with like rough edges. She comes from a very like traditional family, but she wanted to break out of that family until she like, you know, she picked up like tricks and habits as a means of like, you know, making their parents happy, but did it make her happy? I don't think so. Right? And of course there was like instances like that before in the Avatar live action, like, you know, we can't have Sokka being like a super sexist asshole, right? So we're gonna make him more like tame to you know, please like audiences, but that's Sokka's character. You know, not saying, you know, right, sexist, you know, behavior, it isn't like good, it's bad, but you gotta understand, this is the character growth of like Sokka. He starts off being a pig-headed, but then he later, like, you know, yo, I respect women. Yo, mashallah, I respect women, right? But that's like Sokka. And then they have like, you know, like contradictory statements, like, you know, we're not gonna show Sokka being mean to women, but we can show the genocide of the airbenders. Like, the airbender, like, you know, annihilation happened like off screen. You only see like burning temples. Yeah, they just went above and beyond with the Netflix live action. Like, actually, like, you know, you see children, little air nomads, like, you know, huddling like in the corner as they face their Fire Lord, like, you know, oppressors. Like, what the fuck? What are you trying to say here, Netflix? Like, the fuck? It was... I'm gonna get penalized for this. It was funny when I watched it like with my friends. Right? You get to see like fire effects and shit, like, oh god, oh god, oh damn. Yo, these guys are cruel. Firebenders don't play around. So yeah, like, it's like an example of Netflixification, you know? Like, it like carries on over because that's like Daredevil's like soul in Daredevil, because that's like Daredevil's like soul, right? It was born in the Netflix, molded by the Netflix. I didn't see Disney till I was but a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding sort of shit, right? and then Disney, they actually, you know, like did a good job with this Daredevil show. Usually, like, Disney kind of like fucks around with like some of their Marvel shits, right? That hence why we got sort of these like mid to low tier TV shows and movies for Marvel. Sort of like, you know, the Disney intervention. Maybe that's like the reason why we got that, like, these Marvel yays and Marvel nays, is probably due to like, most probably due to Disney interference, trying to put their thumb on the comic book money spot. So it was like, maybe Disney should step back a bit. But here with like Daredevil, actually, like, maybe it was all controlled and not a lot of studio interference. Maybe that's why Daredevil was so good. And the fact that it like kept its like TV-14 rating, right? Like, yeah, most of like Marvel films are like pretty much PG-13. We slowly like see like some breadcrumbs about R-rated content in like Infinity War, with like Thanos like snapping, killing people, choking them out, or like, you know, killing what was it, Vision. Daredevil just like accepts that because that's like Netflix like soul. Yo, you get characters like shot, stabbed, shot in the head, even blown out, like fucking beat to death, or even like, you know, fucking Netflix, or sorry, Wilson Fisk, right? Straight up rips apart a man's jaw and squishes like their brain because he is technically like a mutant because of his supernatural like strength, or unreal like strength, shit like that. So yeah, man, like they were pretty hardcore, or they were pretty like accurate with the TV 14 rating, even to the point of like MA with like that last scene of like, yo, just ripping a person's like jaw off, like ugh, like damn, bro. Right? So this is only like the first half, so this will be like, I'm not gonna review the show like until the full season comes out, because we're only getting like for this first season, we only got like an appetizer, right? This is like the first half of the main course that we're about to like indulge and take. Right, season 2, I heard like a lot of like promise that even more OG actors from the Netflix series are gonna come back. Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones, Mike Holter, Luke Cage, right? Daredevil's gonna have more of a show, more of a presence than he did with Daredevil season 1, right? It's going to be like 9 episodes. We're gonna bring back like the Defenders, even like Iron Fist to a T, where all 3 of those other Defenders, as I mentioned, expressed interest in returning to Daredevil Born Again. Karen is coming back, and then we heard like the actor for Foggy is going to be coming back, which is like, what the fuck, didn't he die? But I'm pretty sure they have something planned for him. You know? But and then we got like you know, spoilers from like the cast and crew, like, you know, posting some stuff, tie-ins to like, you know, other characters, right? That yeah, this is not the end of this is not the end of Daredevil. There will be like more, and like I said, this is only like the first half. But this like first half this like first half of Daredevil, I will give like a 9 out of 10. It is really like good. Daredevil Born Again season 1 is some like, you know, some good shit. It's like we were brought back like 10 years ago. How old was I at that time? Like, I'm like 30, right? I was like 20 years old when I watched when I watched Daredevil for the first time on Netflix. And like, yeah, this shit was good. It kind of like threw me off with like, you know, the black suit that Daredevil wore, which is like his like costume before he met Melvin Potter and made like the Daredevil costume. But it took a while. It took like, I think it was like 13 like episodes to get to that point, along with like some filler. But yeah, Daredevil season 1 was pretty good. Actually is like a continuation, actually is like a sequel to the Daredevil OG Netflix show. It was really good. It was really good. Then we got more rumors, like maybe like Elektra like coming back, you know, the Electra from the Netflix like series, not Jennifer Gardner, but Elaine like Yon or something like that. So very, very promising, you know, if they're bringing all those actors back and they keep like the pace and the style of like, you know, what happened in this show. I'll say spot on. Like, yo, keep cooking, fam. Let him cook. Cause damn, man, Daredevil season 1 was really good. I will say though, as like, you know, talking about like Netflix, I had a much better time than the Devil May Cry anime series. Anywhere, anytime I look, are people like maybe glazing the Devil May Cry anime? I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I gave that show like a 6 out of 10, but you know, people are out there that maybe have not played the games, you know? You're allowed to like, you know, like a show, but like, dude, even like that show, if you haven't played like the DMC shows, like what the fuck is that garbage, bro? 6 out of 10 like material. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about it because it will make me angry. Even more angry is that they visionary Adi Shankar him and his bitch ass making season 2 of Devil May Cry, because of course he did, because you ended the shit in a fucking cliffhanger, my guy. How the fuck is anyone not gonna like see that? Right? Like I had a much more better time watching Daredevil right here than I did with Devil May Cry, and it's fuck all horseshit, bro. You know, I will give that. Take that, Adi Shankar, you fucker. But yeah, Daredevil, 9 out of 10. Okay, so we can close out to over here. Escape. Now we can move on to like Fatal Fury. Oh god, Yamazaki, that's right. Oh god, Yamazaki, that's right. Ah, shit, bro. Ah, shit. Totally, like, I forgot. Oh, man. Let's see if we can, like, beat him, though. Beat would be, like, you know, a hopeful aspiration. But let's see if we can try, you know. Oh. Wrong shelf. I'm gonna get even more dusty. Thank you. Thank you, brain. I'm like, hey, you're welcome. Alright. There's the stick. Even more dust. Whatever. I'm already sneezing anyway, so what the fuck ever. Alright, now we have to change game categories, right? Have to beat up Yamazaki, man. This bitch has to go down promptly. Okay, so where are we at? Fatal Fury? Fatal Fury for Windows. Now we change it to Fatal Fury 3. Yeah. And I think the game title already is there on my YouTube stream. Okay, good. Oh, man. Oh. Alright. So we don't want to go to the Japanese version by accident. We want to go to the English one. Original arcade. That's where we were. Terry lost. Oh god.
South Station.
crap! Oh god. Ow! Okay, one sweep kind of like worked. Oh my god. Whoa! That's... I could get like a lucky one maybe? Do I just spam like sweeps? Time scam. I was like, either time scam or a hit. Okay. Oh. Oh. Serpent slash. Ah. Oh god. Terry. All right.
South Station.
Oh god. I tried to do an entire. Oh, Barnacle. Oh, he has a counter. Oh, trade. Damn it. Long range kicks? Maybe? Okay. Oh god. Oh yeah, that's right. Supers. I could get like maybe 3/4 in. 3/4 in of his health, but I can't do. Bird Knuckle is bad. As I always tell like Pyro. Bird Knuckle the way to victory, but not in this case.
Go!
Oh. Damn, bro, I can't. It's gotta be like a way. Jumping? No.
Go!
Oh my god. Yeah, I got him to 3/4. Maybe I should change the button to like maybe I could change a button to lane switching, maybe. Like this one will be AB. Try that. Just like spam the button of like tight switches. But the only instance would be like, let's see.
Go!
Ah, like that. Oh. Oh. Ah, yeah, the only problem with lane switching is that he'll beat me out of it.
Go!
Okay, let's go.
What?
And here's what I'm gonna do. Create interrupt save data. Let's go. Alright.
Go!
Oh. Ah! That's not game reset, right? Return to title. So here's what we're gonna do. We could do this. Strats.
Go!
Oh my god, let's go! So the lane switch worked!
Okay!
Let's go, the lane switch worked! To be beaten by a ball cap weenie like yourself, to die of shame, but next round...
山崎を倒したことは褒めてあげましょ
What now? What the?
う。しかし、彼に苦戦しているようでは、私に会う資格はありません。
What the fuck?
会える日を楽しみにしていますよ。
What the fuck is this? Yes? But that's it? Oh! Game over. So that's the end? Who the fuck was that little bit? Who the fuck was that guy, like, talking to us, bro? Trademark? Yo, bring that ass over here. Bring that ass over here, dog. What the fuck was that? What the... So side switching actually, like, worked out. Wow. Wow, okay. But yeah, let me bring up like the what was it, the VOD or whatever that we did. Oh yeah, that's right. We could actually do like some tricks. Hold on a sec. We actually did like side switching and it actually like worked out. I saw like the trick, I like adapted to it. I'm like, oh, side switching actually worked. I was like, okay, run it back. Then go back. Oh, because I saw like, oh, yeah. Right, so let me pull up like, what was it? My Fatal Fury stream from like my Twitch end. And let's go talk about Fatal Fury 3, right? Just like, you know, go over like the process a bit, you know? Let's go to like over here. And then let's bring it down to over yonder and full screen it, right? You know, so we've played like oh my god, wow, that's not good. That's not good. That would be like some streamception shit. Hold on. Oh right, because it's using full screen, you know. So we've played or actually I could just do it like with editing, right? So we've played Fatal Fury 3, right? Last week we played Fatal Fury, what was it? Not last week, sorry. Last week would be like last Wednesday. And then this one would be like, or Fatal Fury 3, we played it on Friday. And yeah, I definitely saw like, you know, a mechanical boost, right? Than what we've have experienced before with Fatal Fury 1 and Fatal Fury 2, right? So yeah, you can definitely do a lot more tricks than what you did previously with Fatal Fury 1, Fatal Fury 2. Of course, you're still gonna have like, you know, the bullshit of you're still gonna have like the bullshit of old school era fighting games, like let's say the OG Street Fighters or even like the OG Fatal Furies, where like inputs don't really come out the way you normally feel them when you're accustomed to fighting games like nowadays. Nowadays, fighting games have a lot of like, you know, input leniency where you can throw out like a fireball or spam a fireball. Oh, it actually like works. Unless you like, you know, miss an input somewhere here or there if you do it like too fast. Here you have to like, you know, you have to apply like some cognition, like brain cognitions on yourself that like, oh, yeah, special moves are going to be, you know, a little bit like weird and a little bit janky. So you have to apply like the slow method of applying special moves, you know? And in here in Fatal Fury, you can actually do like combos. I don't know if you could do them in Fatal Fury 1 or 2, but in here the moves are a little bit faster, so you can do like, you know, links like Terry's like light punch, crouching A to crouching C into what was it, crack shoot. That was some like some bee's knees when we were doing it in the first like arcade like what was it, challenges that we did. But then as we progressively like got harder and harder, that trick won't exactly really like work. Each character is going to have like, you know, a different method of like beating them. You can use like, you know, light links to like pressure stagger them and make them not be able to play. But then some characters can be able to just like quick spot dodge out of the way if I didn't like time my rhythm, and they'll be able to attack me with a lot of damage, right? Especially felt that way with like with like Geese, with my mirror match with Terry, and some other like characters that were didn't want to give me like my way, right? You know, but it was like a fun feeling Fatal Fury, right? With like dashes and with like the lane switch. It definitely felt like a really good feeling Fatal Fury out of like the all three Fatal Furies, the OG ones. I would say Fatal Fury is like, you know, my favorite as of the OG ones. I know there's going to be the Real Bout series, and I'm planning on maybe playing just one Real Bout Fatal Fury, and that's probably going to be Fatal Fury Real Bout 1, though. I'm probably just going to like play that one, and I will jump ahead into Garou, which will probably be like, I don't know, maybe like this week, or sorry, this Friday. Because I still have to... Because I still have like my Friday sessions with my cousins, Safa and Marwa, right? So I'll probably not be able to finish up the arcade ladder on top of like, you know, my aunt and uncle staying over. So it's going to be really like, you know, stressful, right? But I'll probably do like, let's say this, Fatal Fury like labbing maybe, and then do Fatal Fury arcade on Saturday, you know, something, you know, like that. That should be like, you know, fun. And then next week is going to be nothing but Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, right? I'm hoping I get like the digital like release. Oh, well, I pre-ordered the digital version on Steam, and I will be getting it a few days early access, hence the digital pre-order requirement. But let's see, you know, right? Also, like, this weekend's gonna be like 2XKO, that's right. But I'll let you know, right? But so far, again, Fatal Fury 3, a good historical like look. As far as like, you know, lore wise, yeah, Geese is like comes back, as we saw in Mega 64 video, right? The commercial. Geese always comes back. The nightmare never ends. He was actually like a fucking sub boss, believe it or not. The real boss was Ryuji Yamazaki. Like, yo, this bitch just stole the scrolls, right? Stole Geese's like tech of like always like coming back, and he's badder and stronger than he was like, you know, before when we first initially fought him. Like, what the fuck is this garbage? Until I had to like apply like some tricks. AI tricks, right? Like, of course, the AI always cheats, right? We've known this before in Fatal Fury 1, Fatal Fury 2. They just input read your moves and you are not able to play. So you have to identify what the game technically like quote unquote throws out. And so you have to punish them. And I had to learn like with Geese, with Terry, with Ryuji, certain like tricks that you have to like learn and incorporate because this is their pattern. You can't punish them in attack strings. You can't do this and that. You have to apply certain like, you know, you can't do, well, necessarily anything like DMC levels of like Flash. You can certainly try if you really can and can pull it off, but for the most part, these are games that are designed in a way to steal your quarters back in the day. They made them unbearably like so hard so that it's all like, you know, a scheme by these fighting game developers, Capcom being included, right? They just make them unbearably, unnecessarily hard so that you can put in more money and play more of the game and tackle it, waste all your allowance. Oh, loss for me? No, it's loss for them. That's how they're like designed, these old school fighting games. And when we are gonna touch like Real Bout and Garou, they are definitely gonna be like that. I promise you. You know, I mean, we did Fatal Fury 1, we did Fatal Fury 2, so a definite fucking showcase of like, oh, these bitches are evil, right? They'll just like do anything. They'll just do anything, bro, to like cheat you out. Cheat you the fuck out and make you like, mash your head on the fucking table or on the arcade cabinet. That's what they are. Not saying that's like a bad thing. That's how like the games were made. The games were made like that. They were actually like really entertaining. When you look back them at hindsight, all the struggle, all the grief, all the sorrow that you have, kind of like, a Dark Souls, right? It's funny. I would call these like Dark Souls after like playing like, how many classic fighting games did I play? I played the Fatal Furies. I played Cyberbots. I played, what was it? Hyper Street Fighter 2, right? I don't know. What else have I played? I played like SNK games like Samurai Showdown with like medium like difficulty. Dude, in a fighting game sense, they are like the Dark Souls, right? Fighting game AI will always like input read your input, would input read your moves, and then you wouldn't be able to like, punish them. If you're like really lucky, they'll like stop because that's like their pattern they're programmed with. But for the most part, especially like older games, you are not gonna get like, an easy time unless you set the difficulty lower. Even then, we set the difficulty lower in Fatal Fury 1. It still whooped my ass. These games are like designed to test the shit out of you, right? These games are there just to frustrate the shit out of you and put more quarters into the fucking machine. That's what they're like known for, Again, not a bad thing, right? That's how they're made. You look back on them, that they're kind of like funny in a way. But it's just the way they were programmed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're not like modern fighting games where you can like make them all the way to like, training like dummy stick mode, right? And you're gonna breeze by and just get like a arcade ladder. No, these games, like, you technically have to work hard to play them. Excuse me. So what we got for Fatal Fury, we finished Fatal Fury 1, finished Fatal Fury 2, we finished Fatal Fury 3. What are like some other Fatal Furies, right, that we can acquire and purchase? There's Real Bout, yeah, I think we're gonna only play Real Bout Fatal Fury 1, since that's like the one. Using the previous system as a base, isolating the sweep button, the inclusion of combination attacks and other elements such as ring outs for an even speedier tempo and even speedier and tempo based playstyle. Really? 16 fighters battle it out. Players can change various settings like the game difficulty and also reproduce the atmosphere of arcade display settings at the time. Also heard that Fatal Fury Real Bout 2 is also really good in terms of like art style, right? Characters are a lot more expressive. You have like a super meter. But I'm trying to go in terms of like lore, right? I'll have to like do like some research on this. There's also Real Bout Special. Real Bout Special. Brand new 2-line system, battle system, a refinement of the power gauge. So this one came out in 1997. When did Real Bout 1 come out? 1995. 1995 was it? Real Bout 2 was... Oh, 1998. 7th title. So it's Real Bout 1, then Special, then Real Bout 2. Okay. Adds Rick Stroud and Lee Xiangfei as playable characters, and Geese Howard makes a return. And then, of course, Garo, Mark of the Wolves. But Garo, Mark of the Wolves, we have it on Steam. The, what was it? The Steam version of Garo. All the way at the top right here. Pretty much kind of like the best version of Garo possible. You know? I think so. I think so, but let's see, right? Oh, there's a Tekken update. Might as well update it while we still like talk and chill. I just want to get like some lore bits, you know? Like which one is like the one Fatal Fury to go into. Fatal Fury in order. Fatal Fury lore in order. Can someone explain the Fatal Fury series to me? Fatal Fury 3 is the search for some... Picks up right after the offense... Oh, thank you, Reddit. Let me see. Fatal Fury is the first game. The sequel, Krauser, Fatal Fury Special. Just an updated version with Fatal Fury 2, but with multiplayer. There you go. With multiplayer, Fatal Fury 3 is some ancient scrolls that grant power and immortality, but the scrolls have disappeared. Picks up right after the offense of Fatal Fury 3 was the one that got the scrolls, but instead of using it, he destroys them, saying that he never wanted the power and it was too dangerous to exist. After that, he plans to finally get his revenge on Terry and recreate the tournament of the first game. Oh, so Real Bout 1 is where we should start. Fatal Fury Special is non-canonic. Non-canonic, and Fatal Fury 2 is just an update patch. Does not have a plot, and it's just balanced fighting game made for multiplayer. Oh, okay. So we just play Fatal Fury 1, or Real Bout, and Garo is 10 years like after. Okay, so I think our plan is, well, we're gonna have to like, well, Friday I can't do because although Fatal Fury, but I have the worry of like my cousins calling me, so I want to be ready and not leave like another cliffhanger stream like we did last Friday. So Friday we'll probably do Garo. Mark of the Wolves on Friday, like learning buttons, learning mechanics, maybe even do like rate the supers for Garo, or judge the supers. I always call it rate the supers because I remember Max Dudes, Maximilian_Dudes version of it. And maybe on like Saturday we could do Garo arcade ladder. You know, that would be fun. That would be fun to do because, yeah, considering the time pace that we've got, we could have done like this on Monday, but we didn't because of, you know, life. We did it on Wednesday. We talked about Daredevil, so not really much time, and I have to like go to bed because like I have like work. Yeah, but I'll definitely like put up a poll, right? I'll put up a poll saying on Twitter, even on like Blue Sky, hey guys, do you want the Khaiza to still do Real Bout 1 before Fatal Fury? Let me know like in the comments, right? Let me know if you want the Khaiza to do Real Bout 1, even if Fatal Fury City of the Wolves has already come out, right? Because by this time it's 17, So 4 more days till the early access drops on Steam, or if you got it on digital, right? So probably 4 days away, or even at this point, 7 days away, right? A week away from Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. Let me know what you guys. Let me know what you guys want the Khaiza to do for real bout. Do you want to like leave it up in the air, in the dust, collect in the ether, collecting dust, or do you want the Khaiza to play? Let me know, like in the comments, and I'll also make like a poll as well. You know. We have like 12:18. Definitely like want to chill a bit. You know. God damn. Oh, we could play like some DMC though. We could play some DMC. I'm very close. I'm very close to doing it on S rank, guys. Very fucking close. Yeah, let's do that. Once Tekken is done updating, I do want to play some, what was it? Devil May Cry. I've been seeing myself every now and then. I just play, like, DMC. I've been playing DMC 5 probably because of, like, the anime. Strange world that we're in. That we're playing DMC in, like, 2025. Here, let's see, right? Let's go play some DMC. I'm actually this close to like S ranking like all of the missions in 5, right? On Son of Sparta. Right? If we're lucky, we can get S rank tonight. If not, then I'll probably do it offline and then post about it on social media. Oh. Oh, man, my nose. Ow. Wait till this patch updates, and then we can play some DMC. I do need something to chill, chat. Something to like take my mind off a little bit. Ah. Ow, my nose. Oh, man. And back to sneezing. Right. That's just lovely. Ah, man. Oh, man. Did I receive any message from like, maybe? No. Just Twitch streams. Max is live right now. Oh, he's playing MKX and MVC. Oh, we should check out the update. That's right. Should check out the update now that we got a chance. Yeah, I definitely want to check out this update and then play some TMC. 78%. Damn, it's taking a long time for this patch notes. Or, yeah, it's patching right now. That's why. Uh, 86%? Okay. Dude, I posted like my real talk about wild guests in fighting games. Shit got possible that like, oh, no views, but it got like a like. Like, the hell? Excuse me? Full breakdown of Billy. Man. Ah. 91%? Oh, I don't think we'll have time to play, maybe. Since the patch notes is taking that long. I wanna play something and chill, man. I wanna play something and chill. Come on. Come on. Do math. Do harder. Like I said, I'll probably play Tekken when there's like a new character for me. Lars is cool, and I pretty much remember like Lars, but like maybe I just need like a character for me, you know? One that like personally speaks to me. Probably just like I fell off of like Lars. I know like Lars is good now, right? Lars is really good. Saw Arsenal